If there were one or two words to describe you that you would pick that we might not see on a CV or a resume, what would they be? And when did you start to own them for yourself as true?
The first one is energetic, and the second one, in terms of two words, compassionate. For energetic, I just want to move on stuff that gets me excited, which luckily that's, career-wise, it's been most of my career for the most part. Don't get me
Mm,
wrong, every time, every career will have its lulls where you're just like, oh, right? There's some
yeah.
some drag, some work that kind of feels like this is dragging me out, but I want to be enthusiastic. I have been enthusiastic, and so I hope that energy people around me. I will
Mhm.
say that it's not something I was necessarily like embraced. It was not a characteristic I necessarily embraced. I felt that in order to quote unquote be a leader, you had to be more measured, which of course is
Mm,
a good thing, but that meant you were maybe a slower talker. You kind of digested every word. And I'm very much I want the data, but in the end, I'm gonna go what feels right,
mm,
and sometimes that's a very quick feeling, and that's where some of the energy comes from, and when I say energetic, it's certainly like, it's like fast and, fast paced and let's move, but it's also like the enthusiasm behind the work that I'm
mm.
doing, if that makes sense, right? So energy
Yeah.
is both from, maybe like fast paced, but also like just the level of excitement I have for whatever it is I'm working on. As I've been approached throughout the last few years, probably, I can actually pinpoint it to like, let's say post like 2018. I've seen this bullet point job descriptions and it's executive presence, right? And I just
Mm,
remember thinking, I don't have that, right? And being very self conscious about it, and actually went and spoke to a career coach or like, somebody to help me navigate like what my next path is going to be, because there were so many areas I could take, and just working with her, I realized like I don't want to change. I'm good. Like I am really
yes.
comfortable with who I am. So that was one. And same thing goes with the compassionate piece. Like I
Mm,
remember talking with a former manager about how we should be rewarding some of our interns, and it was kind of like, well, we haven't done that before, or this is how it's always been done. Or I'm just remembering, you know what, these interns don't make a ton of money. Like, can we just
mhm.
not give them a little bit more and just make sure they're in a good headspace to like give us every, like if we're asking for everything, like can we
Yeah.
help them better, be positioned to be able to do that. And so I just feel like I make a lot of decisions based on compassion